Welcome to my bedroom to a live reading of my business book, Love, Play, Magic, Business Reimagined. I'm going to stream this live recording to YouTube, so you can watch this on my YouTube channel, and you can watch it on Instagram, you can watch it on TikTok. I'm just in bed on Saturday and going to do a full reading of this book. So I hope that you enjoy. When I look here, I'm looking at you on YouTube, and when I'm here, I'm looking at TikTok and Instagram. So this is the printed version. It's not a final proof. You can actually get yourself a copy right now. It costs $1 if you get the ebook version. So anywhere in the world, you can get the ebook version. But if you want a printed version of this book, then I've got it on a cost price. That's because I haven't officially launched. So get it before I officially launch, and you'll get this copy. So I'm going to read you the whole book, or as most of it as I can until I need to go make coffee. Let's dive in. This book is dedicated to Lee Wallet. This book, like everything else in my life, wouldn't have been possible without the constant love, encouragement, and support of the best person I know, my sister, Lee Wallet. Check her out at leewallet.com. This book introduces the paradigm shift from patriarchal to playful business. And before I dive in, now, I don't want to interject my own self too many times, but the whole premise of capitalist patriarchy in the world that we live in causes me a tremendous amount of pain and suffering, and it does to everyone that I know, except for maybe Jeff Bezos. So this book is looking at what can we do differently to reimagine business and create something that's more inclusive, that's more compassionate, and just takes into account systemic racism and homophobia and ableism and all the problems that we have in the world. But instead of just calling out the problems, it offers an alternative. And that's what I'm most interested in as a creator, is looking at what are the alternatives to the current paradigm that we exist in. Here's the content. Not going to read that. Let's just start at the very beginning. Introduction. What you're about to read is practical magic. Each idea is customizable and easy to implement. You'll become more confident with your capabilities and ignite your own innate magic. You'll remember that you do have what it takes to be successful. Your business will become more fun than you ever believed it could be. You'll alchemize your heart of gold into actual gold and make money from your magic. This book is the paradigm shift from patriarchal to playful business. It answers the question, how do you reimagine business? Patriarchal capitalist business isn't the best option. There is a softer, easier way. And while 9 to 5 is officially dead, the privilege of working for yourself is a full-time gig. This book is for people who don't fit into the status quo. It's for the ambitious self-starter who wants to make an impact on the world and leave a legacy of love. The generous freedom seeker who wants to generate income and lavish their loved ones. And the magic maker who's ready to scale an interdependent business that's wildly successful. Over 17 years, I've reimagined businesses with hundreds of business owners. Coaches, consultants, CEOs, and creatives have experienced wildfire success. From boring, suppressive, and stoic strategies to enjoying lighthearted, sustainable, super bloom businesses. Their stories and the steps they took are the treasure map to guide you over the rainbow to success. Albert, a mentee from Nigeria, says his insights gained were electric. He took the inspiration into his traditional corporate environment and transformed the productivity of his team through play. They got more done, had more fun, and felt energized and inspired to pursue new business opportunities. This book will invigorate and delight you. You will never need to force yourself through another boring business book again. These are the ideas my clients have used to achieve exponential growth in their business. They've grown from 1K months to 50,000K months, and often in as little as 90 days. But it's more than money. They're making up their own lives. I promise that if you include love, play, and magic in your business, you'll exceed your own expectations. You'll realize that it's possible to get more than what you want without having to work harder for it. Instead of feeling separate and alone because of overwhelm and worry, your business will connect you to yourself, others, and the world. You don't need to resist relief for a moment longer. Dive into this book with an open heart and mind and reap the rewards instantly. Turn the page to tune into the frequency of magic. I'm cheering you on from the realm of possibilities where your dream business already exists. Business Reimagined. This book started out as a simple framework to set up and scale a service business online, but it's turned into more than that. Because while it's true that I've set up, scaled, and sold multiple businesses, it's only in the last year that the way I've done business changed dramatically. Before I embraced my Phoenix Magic mindset to live a life of play, I worked. I was convinced that capitalist culture wasn't a cult. I sought out businessmen to teach me how to do it right. I craved security in a male-dominated world and wanted to belong where it felt safest, at the top. But their business rules belonged to a patriarchal paradigm that served very few and oppressed everyone else. It was also nonsense. A world run by mediocre golfers who couldn't book their own dinner reservations was a disaster waiting to happen. Toxic masculine patriarchy would fail. I didn't want to stop the speeding train heading for a crash. I got out to reimagine the idea of business entirely. You don't have to hate the players or the game when you can dance to your own rhythm with the music you make up yourself. But it wasn't nearly as simple as it sounds. Even though I've always been a creative nonconformist, I still found myself falling for patriarchal traps. I swapped good girl for good wife and then fell into the good boss babe trap until I realized I was still playing by outdated rules. I was so used to power coming from old, white, rich men that I gave mine away by listening to them. I bought into the same bullshit again and again. Work hard, always be closing, and the most insane one, do it yourself, even though they didn't. The fact that men who manage companies can't manage their calendars is one of the insane realities of incompetence masked with privilege. The whole idea of hard work is warped. Stupid ideas like 5:30 a.m. wake-ups as premises for best-selling books, when mothers have been waking up at 4:30 a.m. since the dawn of time but aren't considered working at all. It was almost as if business was for the boys and baking was for the girls. It seemed gendered, as if the only way to succeed as a woman in business was to behave like a man. I didn't want to lean into patriarchy. If success meant my multifaceted emotional and creative energies needed to be stripped and replaced with logical ordered control, it wasn't success. It was stripping. And I'm only into that on Fridays. Kidding. Pretending to be someone you're not isn't fun. It's painful. I wondered when business had become pressure and punishment instead of pleasure and play. It seemed inverted. It felt like a trick. When I reimagined my business, I stopped playing outdated rules in a losing game. I realized that the rules were so ingrained in my scope of reality that I'd mistaken them as truths. Even though I'd had success, it was a constant struggle and slog, and I'd tell myself that's just what it was. I kept going, exhausting myself to the minute before the clock struck burnout. It happened again a few days before Christmas 2019. I had my final business book edit and was set to launch before the year end. I was racing through an endless to-do list between client meetings. Time slipped away with very little left to spend with my sister visiting me from overseas or my friends. I was irritable, tired, and stressed. The book covered all the basics to set up and scale service businesses online, but it was dry as a bone. For a creatrix who claimed a life that's delicious, it was dishwater instead of double shot mocha. Not a tasty treat and definitely not a vibe. It was like I'd made something opposite to who I was. I wanted to prove I was sensible, rational, and logical because I somehow thought that I wasn't. But what if that version of the book just wasn't it? And if it wasn't, what was? My sister, also a business coach, asked, what are the 3 ingredients in your business success? Love, play, magic. Spilled out my mouth without a second thought. Effortless, easy, exact. Then right about that, she said. Could it really be that simple, that straightforward? I'd skirted around the ideas, but never said them straight. I didn't think love, play, and magic sounded professional and businessy enough. I didn't think anyone would take me seriously. It was one of those, I can't say that, moments of insecurity and embarrassment. They'll call me crazy, came the voice of fear from deep inside me. Because here's the thing. I used to feel like I was terminally unique and no one would understand me, let alone support me for all I was. My too muchness oozed out of me and I couldn't seem to put a lid on it or filter it or fit myself in. I didn't trust that anyone would be there for me and believed I was my own safest bet. Backing myself was both my strength and defense mechanism. Building my own business meant building my own life and taking care of myself. My early businesses were built on proving I could instead of playing because I was allowed to. I was scared and so played it safe. Even my boldest moves were timid for who I really was. I wanted to be appropriately authentic like Marie Forleo and commercially creative so I could sell whatever it was I'd created. I loved self-expression that came with a round of applause. I still love applause. I had my ace up my sleeve but wasn't playing it. I preferred other people's cards in case I'd reveal too much and really blow it this time, and everyone would hate me and desert me once and for all. Trapped in knots of fear around discipline and dominance, I struggled. I've had to undo almost everything I've been taught to free myself from business bondage. It was because part of me still imagined business as this difficult, out-of-reach entity. Why did I ever think business would be hard to do instead of a natural extension of my self-expression? It's because we live in a patriarchal society that's fixated on power instead of focused on play. It's why so many women in business speak about empowering women as if power is something that can be given. Creativity is the most powerful untapped resource you have, and it can't be taken away from you because it's innate. My various business ideas have always supported me, but when COVID-19 hit, my business dipped into the driest spell I'd ever had. Clients cancelled and my business as usual stopped short. I panicked and started listening to every old rich businessman I could find. Podcasts, books, online events, endless conversations with mentors. Each piece of advice was worse than the next. Quick fixes, silver bullets, step-by-step foolproof solutions and blueprints. And the absolute worst, just spend more money. On the flip side was praying before sales calls and magical morning meditations. I even did one divine feminine empowerment Zoom session that turned out to be group masturbation. Not my vibe, hey? Not my vibe. Nothing felt right and I didn't want any of it. I knew there had to be another way. Because I couldn't find an external example, I knew there was only one place to find what I was looking for. I needed to imagine what I wanted and create it. I reimagined business and decided that my business would become my sugar daddy. He'd give me whatever I wanted so I could move to my beach house to write fairy tales, drink coffee, and create all day. And in October 2020, I packed up my West Hollywood home and moved to my brand new Hermosa Beach home. My business is my sugar daddy, and I moved to my beach house. And initially, that was the name of this book, How to Make Your Business Your Sugar Daddy so you can move to your beach house. Because when your business is your sugar daddy, you get to fall in love with your wild, hot, rich life. Delightful, except business is whatever you want it to be. I related to the sugar daddy dream for business, but you may have another equally delightful idea for what your business represents to you. Welcome to the pleasure zone, where your business pleasures instead of punishes you. In fact, pleasure is essential to your business's success. Business Reimagined means you get to have more fun than you ever thought you were allowed to. You're going to make your business work for you instead of you for it. It's business reimagined from a punishing patriarchal dictator into your hot, sweet sugar daddy. This book is about reimagining business so you can reimagine your life. You can make your business your sugar daddy or anything else you want it to be. You get to make it all up. In fact, the reason you don't have a business and lifestyle beyond your wildest dreams yet is that you haven't imagined it as a possibility. When capitalist patriarchal says work because you have to, the new paradigm says play because you're allowed to. Play is your purpose. It's the result and the process itself. It's not a fixed destination, but an endless cycle. It's enhancing, it's regenerative, it's the whole point. Play is enjoying who you are and what you're doing with others. It's freedom through absolute presence. It's not about if you do what you love, you'll never have to work a day in your life. It's that when you share all you love, you get to play. Getting to play is the dream. You're getting it. All you could ever imagine wanting. It's like making love or laughing. It's happening. It's life as a lucid dream. If patriarchal dictators like Gary V, Vaynerchuk, are not your vibe, then you're ready for business reimagined sugar daddy style. That's business without 5 a.m. wake-up calls, cold showers, and the hustle and grind of crushing anything. Because success isn't about hacking life to do it right. True success is about living a life that feels like a holiday. This book has my personal stories sprinkled throughout. It'll give you a glimpse into my galaxy and show you how I came to believe in business greater than the patriarchal version I'd been force-fed. It offers you the way of play, free from the pressure of perfection and conformity. It gives you endless possibilities with the magic of interdependence. Think of this book as an unbinding spell, undoing all the knots of tension caused by the old rules of business. You'll get released into the new paradigm. There is a far more delicious way to enjoy the rich pleasures of business done differently. The good news is it actually works. Not just for me, but for hundreds of clients I've worked with over the years, whether they believed in love, play, and magic or not. They've each reimagined business for themselves. My secret sauce to success spills the 3 ingredients: love, play, and magic. This book, my secret sauce to success includes the 3 ingredients: love, play, and magic. My book spills all my secrets of how to use them in your business to reimagine your life. For recovering perfectionists and A-types like me, here's how to read this book playfully. In case you needed it, your permission to play is officially granted. How to read this book playfully. This book is not a prescription to take. The only requirement is a desire to do business differently. You get to take what serves you and leave the rest. Some ideas you'll have heard before and some may be revelatory. Others will spark memories and new ideas in you. Follow the moonlit breadcrumbs and see where they take you. As you read this book, make notes in your journal. Use your journal as a space for ideas. Pause whenever you like and reread sections if you need to, or binge the whole thing in one sitting. You're making a map of return to the core of your creativity, remembering that your love energy is the first stage of reclaiming your innate magic. Revealing your love through play is the second stage. Your combination of love and play is the revolution. That's when your magic is reclaimed, and from there, anything is possible. This book follows a simple structure of checking out dated premises with true ideas. It offers alternatives to the status quo. It shows you how to combine love and play to make magic. At the end of each section, take a moment to note your key insights for your ideas collection. At the end of this book, you'll have an ideas map to implement. Sustainable business is sexy, and it's done one day at a time. You'll complete this book 1 page at a time. There's no rush. Take it at your own pace and go as fast as you like. Birthing your business. Now we get into the part 1. Introduction to birthing your business. I'm getting into business is more common than the saying I'm birthing my business. But birthing is closer to what business is because it's a creation. Part 1 is about birthing your reimagined business. Business isn't an external task to do. It's an internal reflection to express. Business is the ultimate act of creation. It's conceptualizing something that doesn't yet exist and conceiving it into a reality to share with the world. You get to create something you love and sell it so you can keep creating more. First up, you'll prepare yourself for what's possible. You are the example to follow. You'll unleash your limitless potential by tapping into your imagination. We'll examine your red-hot fears, ride what scares you, and drop the shame stick. Then you'll activate your Phoenix magic mindset. To rediscover trust in your most creative self, you'll remember the sparks of genius you've already experienced. It's time to embrace the way of play so you can become rich without working hard. I'll shed a light on bad advice and tricksters so you can spot it for yourself and spit it out. You'll get to sidestep the cult of capitalist patriarchy and go your own way. We'll check in to make sure you're not caught up in business BDSM, which feeds into capitalist punishment. Ultimately, we're replacing old rules with new ideas. To keep on track to your over-the-rainbow success, you're going to stop and start doing one thing. There are 3 ways to prove yourself in business, and I'll tell you which the best way is. I'll wrap up birthing your business with a personal story called Salt. It's about the time I had big dreams, but hadn't done anything about them yet. Prepare yourself for possibilities. Have you ever wanted to be something you're not? Have you ever thought, I don't have the time it takes for success? Have you ever worried about what someone would say if they saw you on a video talking about your new business? Have you ever decided you need to wait to make it better before starting something? We all have a running list of subconscious beliefs that drive us on autopilot. We don't even know they're there because we've accepted them as truths, like this is just the way the world works. There's no getting around it. Here are some examples. A successful businesswoman wears suits and stilettos. She has her hair perfectly done, her nails manicured, and paints her lips bright pink. A woman in touch with her femininity dances sensually in her underwear, burns sage, and sighs a lot. An online marketer is perky and positive. She poses with her dog and posts uncontroversial opinions online. She's always appropriate with her humor. The only securities that are acceptable to mention online are guilt for not spending enough time with the hubby and kids, worries about quarantine weight gain, embarrassment about lapsed resolutions, confessions about sneaky glasses of wine. If you don't feel like you belong in the world of boss babe, queen, or slayer, it's because you don't. The subconscious fear that you don't fit in is because you're scared to stand out. We hold ourselves back by believing there's a formula we need to follow and there's a paved way to get it right. Because there's no leading example that fits in with your vibe, you stop before you've even started. But what if you're the leading example? What if what you wanted doesn't actually exist because you're the one who's here to make it up? If you've ever felt a longing for something unexplainable, a missing for something more, and a desire for an alternative to your current reality, then I hope this book reminds you that it's possible. You are made for more. You're here to have it all. Everything you've ever wanted is yours for the creating. Your business, just like everything else, is an extension of you. It's not something impossible external to conquer. Business is the manifestation of your love for the world. And when you treat it like that, your business becomes a source of pleasure, play, and prosperity. By sharing who you are, you shine as an alternative example for others. Red hot fear. Fear shows up in multiple disguises. It usually hides deep in the core of other expressions. Fear loves to wear a mask. Perfectionism isn't wanting to get it right. It's fear of getting it wrong. Control isn't making sure it's all okay. It's fear it won't be okay. Worrying about the world or others is a masked fear that you're unable to take care of yourself. You project your fear onto others, assuming they can't take care of themselves. Hopelessness is a fear that you're not good enough. Powerlessness is a fear that you're unworthy. Not wanting to put yourself out there and be embarrassed is a fear that you're unlovable as you are. Exhaustion can mask fear. Numbness can mask fear. Repulsion can mask fear. Positivity can mask fear. I used to think I was fearless. I believe no one can help me. I have to do it all alone. If I don't do it, it'll never get done. My fear was so ingrained, I thought I wasn't afraid of anything. At the height of my fear, in late 2017, I did public speaking, made a short film, and went on dozens of first dates and hosted events. I was out and about on the scene, playing the role of a cool party girl. I ran multiple businesses and side hustles alongside a growing client portfolio. Once I wrote and managed 9 blogs as one of the 20 projects I had on the boil. The truth was I couldn't stop because whenever I did, I'd feel overwhelmed with sadness. I was on top of it all. Buried underneath were feelings I didn't want to face. My fear also showed up as anger. Denying fear is a double burden. Feeling afraid is heavy. On top of that, pretending you don't feel what you feel is exhausting. Denying your reality is lying to yourself and breaks your trust. It expresses itself as not trusting others in the world. It's hard to feel connected to who you are when you're not being honest about it. That's why revealing your feelings is a liberation. You dissolve your fear when you shine the light of truth by expressing it. Red hot fear dissolves into warm pink love of acceptance. Revealing your fears is a personal revolution because you're inviting change to take place. I recommend a therapist, coach, energy healer, or 12-step program to dissolve fear blocks. The first step is admitting you have them. Fear thrives in isolation, so don't tackle it alone. Love it into light through sharing it. When you've accessed your fear, it's time to ride it. Dragon riders. I like to imagine my fear as a fire-breathing dragon that protects me. I imagine climbing on my fear dragon's back like Khaleesi in Game of Thrones. We soar above what's stopping me to get a dragon's eye view of what's going on. If I stay on the ground in the thick of the problem, I'm stuck thinking I need to come up with a solution. I've thought I've needed a way out, when in reality, I've needed a way up. Dragon riding gives me a perspective shift through my imagination. I recognize the fear and I ride it nowhere. Nowhere is the place to be. Nowhere is now, here, with space between. It's heightened presence. And then here's a little picture of that. You can see it here. When you expand the space between your reaction or response, you enter the realm of possibilities. It's the creative matrix of nothing and everything, the space of no when. Instead of asking yourself what you must do, you imagine what you want, and then you reimagine. You get there through dragon riding. Dragon riders say things like, write the book you want to read. You can stay frustrated with the status quo, or you can invent an entirely new paradigm. Let your fire-breathing dragon ride you someplace over the rainbow to the time and space after your problem is solved. Don't fixate on how that happens. Focus on after it happens. What then? Imagine what different looks like. Paint the picture as a full sensory experience. Visualize it, taste it, touch it, and feel its texture. Let the ideas come to you and remain open to the unexpected. You can't read the label from inside the jar. Michael LeBeau. I used to love this quote until I realized you don't need to read the label when you can invent an entirely new jam. You do that when you get a dragon's perspective. The shame stick. When I beat myself with a shame stick for something I'm feeling, the pain is worse and I'm paralyzed to move forward. As a person who's never felt safe to feel, I thought that feelings were a luxury I couldn't afford. Sometimes allowing myself to feel is hard to do. It becomes impossible when I add shame into the mix. I'll feel lonely, disappointed, or devastated, and then shame myself for having the feeling at all. When I'm feeling bad about something, I know I'm beating myself with a shame stick, and I get support. Shame stifles me and stops me from expanding into the fullest version of my super bloom self. Shame shows up when I slip back into survival mode. I know I'm in survival mode when I don't want to feel. This happened with this book's rewrite. Shame struck me down with insidious thoughts like, what am I saying? Does anyone need to read this? Hasn't this all been said before by someone more studied than me? Who am I to write this stuff? Am I always living the creatrix dream? I know that if it's not feeling lighthearted, I don't push myself through. Beating yourself down when you're already feeling anxious or depressed is sadomasochism, and we are not doing BDSM. A business reimagined is all about pleasure. So if it's feeling heavy, it's a sign that it's time to get backup and support. The magic of interdependence is the essence of what this book is all about. You don't need all the answers to start. Let your questions guide you to imagine your dream outcome. Wanting a solution isn't the same as imagining what could be. We live in a technicolor multi-universe. You are more than just one thing, and your answers are multifaceted too. Imagination is your key to creative living, and creativity is the answer to every question you have. Maybe you're not insecure. A final idea on fear. Maybe it's not insecurity. Maybe it's internalized misogyny. Ask yourself if the burden that's weighing you down is yours to carry. Intrusive thoughts like anything related to your physical appearance. I don't have the right looks or right look. I need to lose weight first. I need a better fashion style. My hair is too thin, too thick. Anything age-related. I'm too old. I'm too young. Anything related to how you think you are. I'm not interesting enough. I'm too much. I don't have what it takes. Nothing is enough for me. These are lies the patriarchy has sold you, and they're inherently misogynistic ideas. Internalized misogyny isn't gender-based. The most outrageous idea patriarchy has sold is that creativity is feminine. I'm not creative. If you think you're not creative, it's internalized misogyny. Creative is literally who you are. Everything you do is a choice, and a choice you make. Everything you do and every choice you make is creative. When you remember that, you can start to get more conscious about your choices. You'll start questioning your choices. Is there a more interesting choice to make? How could I be more expressive? What would a more creative option be? Where did that choice come from? Well done. You've just tapped into your imagination because you're creative. Drops Mark. Thanks for coming to my TED Talk. Phoenix Magic Mindset. Let me just reposition myself here. If you dream of a life that's bigger, you may feel impatient that you're not where you want to be yet. A bigger life to you might mean your own packaging design agency, moving to Hawaii, or having a dog sanctuary on a farm. The further it is from your current reality, the larger the leap of faith. Just like a plane requires a runway, you do too. You're not progressing in a linear way, you're leaping into a new dimension. It can feel slow until takeoff happens all at once. You've experienced a paradigm shift. The good news is you've started building momentum long before you realized. You've been in preparation your whole life. Phoenix Magic Mindset is about emergence as your most magical self. And before that happens, you'll burn away everything that's been holding you back. Before we dive into the ashes to dig out your dazzling Phoenix self, I want to make this super clear. This is not a self-help book. Self-help is a booming business that sells the lie that happiness is a prerequisite for success. It isn't. It's not about feeling good or feeling ready. Success is all about creating until it's created. It's about burning it all down until only the magic remains. Magic comes from action. Crafting, chiseling, shaping, and remaking. None of this means anything until you're prepared to take action. These new ideas need implementation. The magic seeker dives into the messy middle and does it until it's done. It's not about getting it right. It's about keeping on going. It's about building momentum, increasing resilience, developing flexibility to bounce back. Then when things fail, you don't quit before the magic happens. Phoenix birds are mythical creatures that are forged in the fire. They rise from flames to fly high in the sky. They're the original trailblazers, blazing fire from their flaming tails. Phoenix Magic Mindset is enriched by every experience you've ever had. Nothing you've been through is wasted. It's either ingrained It's either integrated into who you are now or stripped away excess fear layers that held you back. Delightful and the devastating. Your trauma is transmuted into triumph with Phoenix magic mindset. Whatever has hurt and haunted you, plagued and gnawed at you, are the flames to shape your rebirth as a phoenix. Your most potent self is forged in the fire. Rising from adversity is your beautiful rebellion. As a business creator, it's your magnificent defiance against the status quo of corporate conformity. You've dared to do it differently. There are 3 stages to reclaim your Phoenix magic and emerge as your most magical self. Before I go further with the 3 stages, if you want to get a copy of this book, the link is in my bio. Love, Play, Magic, Business Reimagined. You can get the ebook for $1. And right now, today, you can get this copy for the cost price. So when this book officially launches, the price will go up, but you can get it right now for the cost price. This official one has things like, for example, it's everything I've just read to you. And I may do things like change a capital P on the first page to a smaller p, but like if it's the whole book is correct. So get this copy if you want the most affordable version, printed and delivered to you, or you can get the book for $1. Link in my bio. Get it now. Let me know when you've got it. Let's carry on reading. So there are 3 stages to reclaim your Phoenix magic and emerge as your most magical self. Stage 1, the beginning. Your life starts shaped by your particular circumstance. At a certain point, you realize that what you thought was keeping you safe was actually controlling you. Some of these safety measures were self-imposed. You tried to fit in instead of standing out because you were scared to be teased, bullied, and made fun of, or you faced danger and were scared for your life. You bought into society's norms and expectations, even though the rules rubbed you the wrong way. You felt uncomfortable or afraid, but thought you just needed to figure out how to do life right and it would all be okay, until you realized, what if this isn't it? Stage 2, the burning. Your world starts to crumble. The foundations you built your identity on shake you to your core. Maybe you're not who you think you are. You feel a burning desire to leave, start over, and run away. You have to get out, but you don't know where to go next. You know where you're going is nowhere you've ever been. You're on the hero's journey into the unknown and you face the dark night of the soul. Things get murky and you uncover new truths about the world, your family, and yourself that you can't ignore. You can't unknow and unsee these terrible truths. Radical change is required. This is the point where many stop. It's too much to bear, so they bury themselves in distraction, control, and addiction. It's like the unloved wife married to the workaholic who starts popping Valium. She has an affair with a pool boy, her son's best friend, husband's business partner, to distract herself from her misery, and causes herself more misery. When we don't address the root of the real issue, problems blossom like roses on a thorn bush. But when you step into the flames, magic happens. Your suffering dissolves you. You're like a caterpillar in chrysalis, metamorphosizing into the new version of yourself. You allow your former self to turn to ashes. It can feel like you're dying because in a way you are. Stage 3, the birthing. From the ashes of your burn down, you birth your new life. Birth is the ultimate creation, and it's not limited to growing a baby. Resurrecting yourself is a rebirth. I've often wondered if you're truly a creator until you've been through your own resurrection. Everyone who has recovered from tragedy, trauma, oppression, and suffering to rise again has ignited their Phoenix magic. The beautiful part of Phoenix magic is that it's not a once-off experience. It's never too late to start over and begin again. You've accessed your Phoenix magic mindset when you remember this. It can be as simple as getting out of bed to start your day. You commit to showing up to life as you are. I mean, I'm even in bed right now and I've started my day. So it's like showing up as you are. Yeah. You stop waiting to become ready or happy or motivated first. You're right here, right now, and are always at choice. When you feel the flames of fear licking at you, remember you're being forged in the fire and your emergence awaits. Quick summary. Your beautiful rebellion of Phoenix magic has 3 stages. The beginning, where you're plunged into impossible darkness of circumstance beyond your control. The burning, where it all becomes too much and the pain engulfs you. And the beginning, when you rise from the ashes like a phoenix filled with magic. Life of a creatrix. Inside every entrepreneur is an artist seeking self-expression. Your business is an act of creation shaped in your image and likeness. It's an entity and an extension. It's an entity that's an extension. Sorry. Push this. Let's go back. Life of a creatrix. Inside every entrepreneur is an artist seeking self-expression. Your business is an active creation shaped in your image and likeness. It's an entity that's an extension and expression of who you are. The more connected to who you are, the more resources you'll have to grow your business. We all have moments of inspiration, intuition, and insight. It's because we have an inner creative well to draw from. When we tap into our creativity, instead of running dry, it refills and expands. It's energizing, replenishing, and sustaining. When you activate your creative genius, you discover trust in your creative self. Your creative self is the heart of who you are. It's you without the fear, doubt, and insecurities. I call this the creatrix. They're our innate creative life force. Your inner creatrix is your mentor and muse. They've got the crone wisdom of your future self to guide you, plus the sparks of genius to ignite your creative fire. They're exponential, regenerative love energy. You've experienced your creatrix when you felt a burst of energy, a flash of inspiration, alive, awake, and alert, curious to discover more, enthusiastic, ready to go, fully charged, on it. It's a high vibe feeling that fills you with joy. You glow with goodness, like you've mainlined sunshine and are radiating starshine. You feel like anything is possible and trust that it is. You manifest your desires and intuitively know what to do next. It's like living life in the miracle lane that's filled with magical synchronicities. You're in flow with ease and grace. Things just happen for you. You're experiencing your super bloom self. Ask yourself these questions. Do you have millions of ideas? Do you constantly start new projects? Do you want to share everything you know, think, feel, and do? Do you teach others what you know? Do you believe people change? Do you see the glory and horror in everything? Do you have your own life philosophy and value system? Do you enjoy holding paradoxes? Yes? You're a creatrix. You experience magic in the mundane. Ordinary activities become extraordinary. Life feels like a romantic, delicious, and indulgent treat that's made for your pleasure. It's delightful. Aliveness is an art, and you're the artist. You catch yourself thinking, it doesn't get better than this. And then it does. It's more than you could ever hoped for or imagined, with sauce, sprinkles, and a side of more. You have the capacity to take it all in. That's when you know you're in creatrix mode, and you get to make it all up as you choose. The way of play. Play stands for purpose-driven, light-hearted, aligned to you. The first business rule we release is working hard as a prerequisite for success. We replace it with play. You play. Where's my pen? Where's my pen? I mean, I have this pen next to me. Oh, there it is. I want to make that a capital. You replace it with play. You play when, and should that be a capital too? Maybe. You play when your impact comes from love, and we dive into this inside the love section. Business is a love amplifier. It connects you to a community, and then it connects you to a community and them to you through your product or service. When it's created playfully, it's a delightful experience for everyone to be a part of. Earning my first 5 cents. I'll never forget the first 5 cents I earned. I was 5. I had a coloring in book that other kids in my class didn't have. I realized that if I traced the pictures, I could sell them and make money. I told a boy in my class my plan, and he said he'd do the same thing as me. It was my first community over competition moment. I loved having a collaborator. We met on the playground to do our first deal. As we were about to trade our money for each other's tracings, he said, both of our pictures cost 5 cents. So we don't have to swap the money, just the pictures. And just like that, he blew my 5-year-old mind. I thought he was the smartest kid I knew. Business wasn't just about making money. It was about creating, getting cool stuff, making friends, and having fun. Growing up, I forgot my first business playground experience. I bought more into the patriarchal version, even though it went against everything I intrinsically knew to be true. I forgot that business is just an idea I get to make up. How to get rich without working hard. No trick. Business is meant to treat you. You know that business isn't just about money, but rather an enhanced lifestyle experience. Sure, you want success, but not if it means you've got to sacrifice your lifestyle for it. You want hard, you want gentle. You want time out to read, to treat your friends to pedicures, and to spend lazy time laughing with your family. You want to be rich in all aspects of your life, not just financially. Money isn't your primary motivator, and you want those around you to grow and prosper too. Not only are you innately capable and generous, but you're also ready for so much more than you currently have. And just because you can figure it all out, you know you don't have to do it alone. You've realized you're allowed support along the way. You get rich when you've realized that interdependence, not independence, creates happiness. And happiness means you fulfilled your heart's desires. It's all happening and you're fully aware that it is. True wealth is choosing what to do with your time. You get to do life when and how you choose. So RICH doubles as an acronym for realizing interdependence creates happiness. Here's the little map. It's not about independence. If 2020 showed us anything, it's that it's absurd and ridiculous to see ourselves as separate from the whole. We are all in this together, and interdependence is where it's at. Playing, loving, healing, and living together. What is the point if we get it all and we're all alone? We get it to share it. Then we can take turns getting each other coffee and snacks. We're stronger and more successful together, not in isolation. We all hold a piece of the puzzle and complete the big picture when we come together. It's also not about the pursuit of happiness. None of us are truly happy if one of us suffers because we're all interconnected. We're grieving the terrific losses from the COVID-19 virus. The idea that we should just focus on individual happiness is absurd. It's like saying, if I'm okay, it's all that matters anyway. No one wants to be the only remaining soul strolling the empty streets after the apocalypse. It's not okay if you're the last and only one standing. It's devastating. The secret, if by secret they meant a rehash of Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill, is about the law of attraction. But despite this pressurizing secret, happiness isn't a prerequisite to attract success. You don't have to feel deserving to get what you want. You don't need to smile at your reflection repeating, I'm worthy, to get your desires met. You need to allow for the full spectrum of human emotion to move through you. That's vibrant aliveness. That's the heartbeat of humanity and the pulse of creativity. Happiness is one color of your rainbow. Give sadness a chance. I found that devastation reflects a particularly luminous quality of delight. You don't have to limit yourself in only feeling certain things for fear of ruining your chances for your dreams to manifest. And that's where I'm going to stop today. You can get this book online and continue reading. I'm onto page 32. And it's called Love, Play, Magic, Business Reimagined. The link is in my bio. You can get an ebook for $1, or you can get a printed copy for yourself for the cost price, because the book hasn't officially launched yet. So get it today, and I will continue either tomorrow or next week with this part, Spot the Trickster, and we'll continue with the book. So I hope you've enjoyed the reading for today. Let me know your thoughts. Make sure that you grab yourself a copy and drop a comment when you do.